Welcome to Castles to Cauldrons, where every journey starts with a little bit of magic.
Welcome to episode 52.
I'm your host, Jason Davis. I'm here with Rachel, Terry, Micah, and Christine is back. Christine was like our very first guest on episode 2 or 3 of the podcast. So she has the longest gap between reoccurring visits. So welcome back, Christine.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
I actually remember right where I was sitting because I was not in this office when we recorded that episode. I was at my childhood home at my mom's house, sitting in my childhood bed, trying to keep everything quiet to record that episode.
And I was at HHN.
Yes, that's right. You were.
I was in my basement. Yeah. I do remember I was in my basement. That's weird that I remember when Christine was on, where I was sitting. I'm somewhat of royalty, I guess, here.
Yeah. You're memorable.
Tiara. I should put one on.
Can't remember where we were for any of Siobhan or Allison's when they've been on 6 times.
Right?
I remember episode 2. I had to kick the guy I was rooming with out of the room. I was like, hey, I've got to set up and record.
I was like, you got to go somewhere else. That's what I was going to say.
So we have some news that we're going to talk about. There's a lot of Universal news this week, and then a little bit of Disney that we'll end up with. So the first thing was announced. We're recording this as usual on a Thursday. So this was announced yesterday. Luke Combs Category 10 bar is coming to City Walk. Something I have absolutely no interest in.
It might be fun. Where's it going?
I had to ask what it was. So
I was going to say, we were in Vegas and who is he? The voice guy. Blake Shelton. Had a bar. Old Red. I don't know. We were like, who wants to go to a Blake Shelton bar? And it had a line around it. It was only open at night, so I guess around 3 or 4. Or whenever it opened, it was a line around it constantly. And I was befuddled because I was like, I mean, I've heard a couple of songs, but I just didn't know the appeal of I got to really like a musician to go to a bar for them, I feel like. That's not a big draw for me, but apparently people like it, so.
I mean, if they were there, like the celebrity was there, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not just because a lot of these are just restaurant groups that license the name. You know, it's not really their bar. They just license the name and the likeness, and they come in a couple of times a year to say they've been there and, you know, get their little profit share and go on. So, but it's a big thing to do these days, so it must be making money.
I don't care.
Happy. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't care whose name's on the bar.
No,
like, it's not a deal to me.
I just want the food and drinks to be good. I mean, really?
Line dancing. I'd be into that.
I read where there would be line dancing here.
All right, there.
It's something I'm not into at all. I'm not into country music either. So I'll put my earbuds in or go with y'all and drink while we hang out.
Like
I don't
silent
know.
disco. Your own music on and just dance. Nobody needs to know what you're listening to.
Is there anywhere else on City Walk that you could like hear music and dance any sort of dancing right now?
The red coconut is always themed. So like right now it's the dead coconut for Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And then Rising Star is a karaoke bar. I guess you can kind of dance there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Bob Marley might have some area to dance or whatnot.
Then that amphitheater area out there has live music on it sometimes with the seating.
Speaking of amphitheater, I think that's where this is going, in that general area.
Okay.
Because you can
like right there by the water.
Yeah. So if you look at the concept art they released with it, you can see Hard Rock on the right and Islands of Adventure on the left. They're not going to take out the newly refurbished plane from Margaritaville in that bar.
Right.
Well, I do see the Islands of Adventure on there.
I think it'll end up being right there across from Big Fire. Maybe not.
Well, like where that little, is it where that airplane bar looking thing is?
It's forward of that. Closer to the splash pad.
They're also generally high capacity places too, because they're so big. So maybe that's another reason why they put a lot of those in there is because they can fit a ton of people at one time.
I am kind of not looking forward to this because that's a kind of a chokehold as it is when you're kind of going through in the morning and at night because of the small bars on the right hand side and then Margaritaville, Big Fire on the left hand. So you add what could be potentially a very popular bar, just gonna be more people in that walkway. I'll go in at once. at least, just to say I've done it.
Yeah.
And it's category 5 because his first hit was called Hurricane.
10, category 10. Yeah, his first hit was 10. Hurricane. Yeah.
Category 10 doesn't make sense because hurricanes don't go up to category 10.
It's country music. Nothing has to make sense.
I mean, I'm a country music fan somewhat.
I mean, there's a song about a tractor being sexy. Like, country music just doesn't make sense to me.
That's an old song.
It is very old. So while we're talking about music, let's move to HHN because there is a music reference to this.
I can't wait to hear you make it.
Would love a Lady Gaga bar.
Here we are. So they're doing supposedly that we have the second spec map. It came out on February 13th, so Friday the 13th. Rumor is that we will be getting a Lady Gaga house. I don't know. I think, I didn't like the idea of having music houses, but when they did Weekend a few years ago, I actually enjoyed myself.
Well, her fans are the little monsters. So,
duh.
And she's so artsy, and some of her stuff is like dark artsy that I can see how they could maybe really use her stuff in there.
That would be a very good. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, wasn't her music video like Abracadabra, like really like kind of creepy and stuff too? Yeah.
Which I knew she was in like American Horror Story or whatever it is.
Uh-huh. It's more of like a gothic, glamorous, creepy horror than like a slasher creepy horror.
I mean, if you're going to have a music house, I could see her being the first one.
I would so want to see that during the day. That's one I would not want to rush through. I would want to
lots
enjoy
of
detail.
It.
Well, see, if we do a private RIP tour, you can go through it as many times as you want to.
Only if you wear a meat dress.
Done.
Or show up in an egg. Didn't she show up in an egg one time?
She did, yeah.
I don't know. So going over some more of these houses that are rumored. Hellraiser, Stranger Things, Evil Dead, Burn, Sinners, Aliens.
Is it like the movie Sinners that just came out with Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan?
Think so. Vampires.
Is that what was in the movie? Was vampire?
Mm-hmm.
Vampire.
They're vampires.
I haven't seen it. I knew that. So Aliens versus Cowboys or Resident Evil. So those are all the IP houses. And then some of the original, they only have 3 that they put out. Poison Cosmetic BuzzCon, which BuzzCon is a fictional company. The Toxic 20s that we went through that was a BuzzCon thing.
Okay.
HR Blood and Guts, that's a former house they're bringing back. And Jack the Clown House, which is rumored to be Jack versus.
What about this Animals Gone Wild one?
I don't know what that is.
But maybe that could totally be
something
a house.
about HH.
Is that like Animals, but like the Girls Gone Wild of the early 2000s?
No,
they're just having flashbacks to them flashing people and they're drunk.
Animals Gone Wild, it kind of seems like a show title type thing to go into animal actors because they've rumored that another show's coming around. But then as a house, I don't know.
I feel like it could be scary though, like if the pets have gone mad, like mad cow disease from eating contaminated food. Yeah.
If it's a house, it's probably gonna be my least favorite house right now. This seems like it should be a decent year. Jack the Clown house for 35 would make perfect sense because it's a big anniversary year. And they usually bring Jack out for the anniversaries. And for y'all, he's like and art, like a talking art. So I'd imagine he'd roam.
Do you think they'll have him free roaming around the park like they did?
I would think so. He usually roams in the area where his house was in the past.
Okay.
So they probably let him roam the whole park now that they've let Art do it. And if we're going in September, might as well do an HHN night.
Yeah, might as well.
I mean, we're going to be there.
Doing food reviews.
Terry's like, I'm actually going to get food this time and not Mel.
Yes. We didn't all have
not
food last time.
But we had all the milkshakes.
Chicken tenders. We did.
Yes. 4 milkshakes per person, minimum.
Because did Heather end up paying for all those milkshakes?
She double ordered by accident.
See, Christine, you can have a milkshake when we go to HHN.
I'll hold all your milkshakes while you guys go in all the house.
I'll be with you, Christine.
There you go.
Not that bad. Terry can tell you it's not as bad as it seems.
It's not, but I think I would enjoy the food more. If I'm paying to go, I really think I would get more enjoyment out of the food than the houses.
That's why we do RIP, so we can have time for food and houses.
So speaking of food, there is a new Universal offer that came out yesterday. So the travel window is April 12th to September 3rd of this year. So
It does cover a little bit of the HHN if you wanted to get there. You get a 300 hotel dining credit when you book 5 nights or longer at certain hotels. The hotels are Cabana Bay, Aventura, Stella Nova, and Terra Luna. I think that's great. $300 in free food.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you're already going to pay for while you're there.
Yeah. It's only that beverage and the food is only good at that hotel, though, that you're staying at. So it's not for the park use. But, still breakfasts.
I was going to say a $7 muffin.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's so expensive. And if you have a family of 4, you're not getting out of any snack or anything less than $50 usually. So that's a great help.
I mean, free food is free food.
Yeah.
Aventura, but we can it's the nicest hotel of all those. That's close enough to the old parks.
Which one?
Aventura.
Yeah, I like Aventura. And then we can book that package from today until May 6th. So you have until May 6th to take advantage of.
Oh, that's a decent window of time to book.
Yeah.
It's a decent window to book and a big window to travel.
For them to be the value moderate type of hotels and then to get that much of a credit, I think that's fantastic.
And technically, because people could be checking in over Labor Day at that point, too, because it's all the way to September 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, just barely into HHN. The last piece of Universal news, I don't know how much y'all paid attention to the transportation. I know when we went, going back and forth from Terra to the legacy parks is how I've always called them now. It's a little bit of a drive or a ride. But going back and forth, you're going to spend a little bit more time going through Orlando traffic. Universal put out a request for quotes for what they want when it comes to a new transportation type hub for the resort. Last week, they approved the Boring Company, which is owned by Elon Musk. And he has the loop down over in Las Vegas. So that's a pretty cool little thing. It's a tunnel system.
I was going to say, is it going to be tunnel?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it going to be underground?
We don't know anything about it. Like the renderings they put in their proposal was pictures from Vegas, so it had the tunnel aspect. But you do go above ground in Teslas. A lot of the backlash I've seen online has been like, well, you're going from 600 people an hour on buses to less than 400 an hour because you're going to be in Teslas. And I'm like, I think they would make an exception, they'd build the tunnels and let the Universal EV buses go through.
I think, couldn't the buses also go through there?
Just the EV ones.
Or unless Tesla's going to start making buses, specifically
they have the
for.
Robovan they announced, which is a Robovan, which holds 20 people. So that could end up going in there.
Are they doing the Tesla Waymos, whatever the Tesla version of the Waymos is through there?
That could potentially come there.
I guess. I don't know what they're called, but I mean, that'd be kind of cool if you could just call your little Waymo and they would just go back and forth through the loop.
What'd be cool is if you had a Tesla, you could just go down there and drive it yourself.
Right.
Well, yeah, but
maybe.
They had a certain number in their fleet and then it had a certain loop and then you weren't adding to their fleet,
My car can talk to their cars. It just works that way. We're all on the same network. The problem, the big issue is that the water table for Florida is at 100 feet or something like that. So trying to dig tunnels that much water might not be a good thing.
Vegas is dry.
I was going to say opposite climates there.
Yeah, Vegas is dry. Honestly, when you wrote the Boring Company, I thought you just meant it was something you didn't really want to talk about and it was boring.
No, it was called the Boring Company. They actually, and it's the random stuff that Elon does. He made a flamethrower and sold it through that. So, yeah, it's his offshoot of here's what I want to do, random stuff. So when he's bored, he makes stuff.
That's why it's called the Boring Company. There we go.
Yeah. And then they actually bore tunnels. So boring. Last piece of news that we're going to get into. I think this one might be a little bit more talkative. I don't know. We all know my point of view of the Villains Land over at Walt Disney World in Magic Kingdom. If that's ever, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I do have a little bit of a change of stance now because evidently Josh Tomorrow, this is coming from Lynn Testa, who's a pretty trusted news source when it comes to Disney news, that Josh Tomorrow says, let's pull this back and rethink it and think bigger. So one, if we get it, we're going to have some huge expansions to Universal before this thing opens. But I think if it happens, it's going to be worth the wait.
Fingers crossed, because I can't say I'm mad about it. Like, if it is going to happen and they're pulling it back, I would rather them let it take longer and it be really good and not just like a kiosk with something in it and a show, or, like actually
don't have to do it.
Right. Like make it a good immersive expansion where when you walk through, when you walk through the gates or whatever it is for this land, you feel like you're not in Magic Kingdom anymore. Like you are wherever these villains are. And if that's going to take 10 to 15 years to do, I'm willing to wait for that because I really want this villain's land and for it to be good.
All right, 10 to 15 years is a little too long.
Too long.
It is, but it's Disney. Let's hope that it's not that long, but I'm giving myself, my expectations are going to be down here for like the time limit.
5 years to build a parking garage. So, I mean.
How long did it take to do Tron?
Over 6, and that's a replica.
I was just mad that the train was closed all that long.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this was probably something like the Harry Potter instance. JK took Harry Potter to Disney first, and Disney's like, hey, we're not going to give you a castle in our castle park. We'll give you something like, here's a quick service and here's a dark ride, but you're not getting a castle. And that's when she took it to Universal, and Universal's like, we'll give you whatever you want, and we'll give you all approvals. So I kind of think like Disney was like, let's do this budget friendly. We'll give you Maleficent Castle and then, a churro stand. And Josh was like, that's not going to work. We need
I was going to ask you think the new CEO, Matt, would, I don't know, motivate things to move along faster than normal because of seeing like how Universal built Epic so fast?
Do you think that his mind, like he changed his mind once he went to Epic Universe and saw it and was like, actually, we need to plan a little bigger. Like you walk into Isla Burke or Super Nintendo, like you walk into those areas and you feel like you're in a different area. And he was like, yeah, we need to step it up a little bit on these like land expansions that we're doing.
I do think that has to do a little bit with it. I mean, I stayed in our Facebook group with whoever posted about it that Josh Tomorrow, and we talked about it last episode too. Josh Tomorrow was over the parks when we went through a bunch of the stuff with price hikes and taking away a bunch of stuff. We lost Mary Poppins, the Main Street Theater, the Festival Center, all these big things that Disney announced, and they pulled back. Josh was over the parks, so he's easily able to do that. Yes, Chapek has final say of, hey, you're spending too much in the parks. We need to make more money, not spend more money. So maybe tomorrow is like, hey, this is what we would rather do. And go ahead and try to get more people in. I do think, though, at the end of the day, that we'll have this land if it's on, like, the needles don't move for Tropical America, the Distant Peak, and
Monstropolis.
Yeah. Like if that doesn't move, I think that really gets us into it. All right.
Well, it's almost like do it once, do it right.
Yeah.
I just think there has to be a happy medium though. Like you can do it right, but you can also do it quicker.
Yeah. I mean, that's what should be the motivator is see how big everything at Epic, how that went up and got done and they opened and everyone loved it. And it didn't take 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's nice.
It always is, but
it took the same amount of time it took to build Tron.
Yeah.
To build the entire park.
Guardians.
Yeah.
And it would be kind of cool to look over and see like a dark castle and kind of a dark world off of Magic Kingdom that was fully immersive.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that fairy tale land
kind
of vibe.
And maybe they take because right now it's just the land behind Haunted Mansion is what they've kind of
scoped out. Haunted Mansion is a good step into that because it's already kind of
But maybe they kind of expanded. There's also 11 acres behind Big Thunder, which was the Beyond Big Thunder expansion they talked about the first time they announced what Villain's Land. So maybe it comes around and they actually use a big chunk of land to really go in depth with more of these villains.
When I was in Disney last week, we were on the top of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, like right before you go down the last drop, and you'd be surprised how much of that land is completely cleared and ready to go. They're working so fast on Piston Peak and stuff like that. So I do think there's a little bit of fire lit under somebody right now because these projects are moving faster than usual, and maybe Josh has something to do with that. But
that's great to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jason and I look over and we're like, oh my gosh, it's all gone. It's just cleared off and ready to go. So I'm going to keep a positive attitude about his reign over the park still.
I'm hoping for good things. Like, I really hope Josh does good things. Iger did great things his first time around. Obviously, Chapek didn't do too well. And I don't really care for Iger's second part because it was like recovery mode. And let me make up for what I did.
Nobody else to put in. We're just going to bring you back for a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring somebody back, bring back Eisner. I'll be happy with that.
And I don't know if y'all watched it, but Eisner's had some interviews on YouTube over the last week come out, and they are great. Like, he even mentions, like, hate how much it costs for a family to go into Disney nowadays. Like, no one's getting that VIP treatment anymore because everybody's has to pay the VIP to get in. So you're not special anymore.
Yeah.
But I agree. I'll bring Eisner back for at least 5 years. Let him redo the Disney decade.
Yep. All for it.
Once again, other things that got announced that we never saw.
Huh.
Well, that's going to do it for news. We will come back after this break, and we're going to talk about Memory Maker and pros and cons of it and how to get the best use out of it.
Are you dreaming of your next adventure but overwhelmed by planning? Magical Travel has you covered. With over 24 years in the business, we specialize in Disney destinations, Universal Studios, cruise vacations, and all-inclusive resort getaways. Our services are 100% complimentary when you book a vacation package with one of our knowledgeable agents. Request a free quote to start the planning process at www.magicaltravel.com. Mention our podcast to be connected with one of our agents you are listening to.
And we're back. So when you're at your Disney World vacation, the first thing you always think about is food. The second thing is pictures. Are you going to remember all these fun times that you had? Memory Maker is the best thing to do because you don't ever have to worry about taking a photo and one of you not being in it. So Christine wanted to come on today and help talk about Memory Maker and some of the pros, maybe some of the cons of it. I don't think there's really any cons unless
are there any cons?
No.
You take a bad picture, but then you just don't post it. So, just right quick, the Memory Maker does start at $210. If you book a package and you purchase it beforehand, it's $185. There's a military rate for, I think it's $99. And you have to buy it at the gate. The military person does. So those are really good deals when you really think about everything you're going to get. Christine, can you tell us a little bit more about Memory Maker and what all it includes and what it entails?
Yeah. So I usually tell clients, for $185, if you go for, let's say you're on a week-long trip and you're in the parks 4 or 5 days, you can easily get between like 200 and 300 pictures. That's 200 or 300 pictures. You are not behind the camera. You're in front of the camera. And I will say the other good thing I love about the PhotoPass photographers is they'll actually take the picture with your cell phone too. So they're putting the pictures in your My Disney Experience account with your Memory Maker purchase. But you can also ask them, can you take one picture, with my cell phone and hand it to them? And, you can have some instant pictures that way too. I think one of the things I love about it the most are the very unique pictures that you can find around Disney World. I always say one of the most liked pictures on my Facebook page was the picture with Rapunzel's lantern. So that's probably one of the most sought after pictures, probably also because it's only done at night. So you can't take that picture during the day. So depending on what time of year it is and when it gets dark enough outside, that'll tell what time those pictures start. It has such it's a square lantern that you're holding. A lot of times you'll have like a mom and dad on the side and the child is holding it in the middle. It's just such a great picture and it makes use of the Rapunzel bathrooms.
I was going to say, that's the weirdest
So pretty.
Location is like, hey, let's go take pictures in front of the bathrooms.
I know. But I mean, at least there's a use now besides just the bathrooms.
Right. And it is a beautiful, me and my wife have a picture like that. Back in the day. So we love it.
Yeah. Another one that I love that a lot of people don't know what's happening or that it's even a thing is that there's actually a camera on top of the Plaza restaurant. And if you stand in that grassy area where the dessert party fireworks viewing is, you can stand there with the castle behind you and the camera starts in zoomed in on your family. Then it pulls out real far. So you see like the whole hub, and the Cinderella castle, and your family's really tiny and you're trying to find yourself in the picture. And then the camera zooms back in to your family.
I love those pictures.
That's one of my favorite pictures. I mean, it's not really a picture, actually. It's kind of like a video.
They also do it at Epcot now too.
We did the one at Animal Kingdom.
Super zoom shots.
Yeah, we did the one at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. And then the other thing I love too is, I always tell clients, make sure you ask the photographer if they have any magic shots or if they have any props. Like, it's really cool to stand on was it Sunset Boulevard in front of the Hollywood Tower, and they give you some of those vintage suitcases, and you stand there on the street like you're about to check into the hotel. I mean, those are such unique pictures that you're not going to get, with your cell phone just walking around. The PhotoPass photographers make sure that, you get these really unique pictures. I see sometimes people make ornaments out of their pictures. It's their Christmas or Hanukkah card pictures, for the cover of their cards. I just think for $185, it's a no-brainer, to add it.
Yeah. The one trip that I get the Memory Maker every single trip. I think it's well worth the value. But we did a girls trip and we did 4 parks in one day. And we took all of the pictures, in front of the castle, in front of the ball. We did all of those main pictures and we held up our hands and did 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that was a cool use of that. And then another one was a bachelorette party, that trip I was on. So I just bought it for the girls. I was like, I know you guys don't care, but I don't want to take the pictures.
Yeah. So, or ask someone to always take a picture of your family.
And that's the big thing. Like, with PhotoPass, they're using Sony cameras now. Those cameras are dialed in to exactly the right settings so they can get the best picture possible for you. They're not going to change anything on your personal camera. They're not going to change anything on your cell phone. So you'll still get a good photo. They'll make the photo as good as they can, but it won't be anything near as what those cameras they have on Main Street or anywhere around the park will take. They won't be as crisp or anything.
I agree. I will say the other thing I love about Memory Maker is having it during either Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. One of my favorite pictures to get is over by the Haunted Mansion, where you hold up I guess it's like a lantern and the Hatbox ghost is in there, or actually, no, it's your picture, right? Isn't it? Don't they take?
I think it's the Hatbox
ghost. But no, because I know I have a picture and my husband's head is in it.
Well, yeah, where they take your head. Oh.
Yeah, they take your head and put your head in the hat box, which is cool. And then there's one in the front of Magic Kingdom before you go in where the whole family looks up scared and there's the Headless Horseman, I think the party pictures and the magic shots they do there are like some of the best. And tons of props. I mean, there's props everywhere.
I have like the hitchhiking ghost one.
Yeah, the hitchhiking
ghost. That's just the regular one though.
It's great, But otherwise, you're just taking a picture in front of the Haunted Mansion, which, some people may not know that that's what that is, and then you put 3 ghosts going like this, along with your family. Like, oh, that must be.
They still might not know what it is.
But now it's fun because there's ghosts in it.
Yeah, there's ghosts.
I think one of the
also get your ride pictures.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So, every time you don't think about it, but you do make funny faces on rides, or maybe you're scared, or,
or you pull people's wigs off. I mean,
or you plan something quirky that, all that's automatically uploaded.
The big thing on social right now with TikTok is the glam bot.
The glam bot on the Tower of Terror.
So it's like,
I will never do that. So someone else has to.
Well, we'll get Rachel to do it.
I think I sent you guys the picture/video of me on Tower of Terror when I wrote it with my aunt that year. Like, I literally legitimately looked terrified. My sister made it my contact photo in her phone because it's just so, like, I was terrified because I hate that ride. But my aunt really wanted to ride it, so I wrote it with her. And, like, the slow-mo thing is even better, like, just watching the terror slowly go over my face. Yeah.
But the people who do manage to do the glam bot thing, I'm very impressed with. Because they're just perfectly, they do the little thing and they're not terrified at all and they're not scared. They're like, hit all the cues perfectly. Yeah. And I was like, that could never be me.
Yeah.
Not be me.
No.
I used to, I haven't seen it yet with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but when it was Splash Mountain, I remember you used to see like a whole boat full of people with a newspaper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Newspaper, like nobody's paying attention to the ride. I thought that was.
Or the people like, will you marry me? Or like, they put up all their stuff.
Yeah. I've seen people like play board games or like,
chessboard.
Everybody's sleeping.
Like rock, paper, scissors. They're like kind of turned around looking at each other doing rock, paper, scissors. Yeah.
One that made it real popular was the angry wife that was like staring dead eye into the camera a few years ago.
What ride was that on?
Splash Mountain. Like she was 100% just right into the camera, her arms crossed and everything.
Love it.
I
know when we did an agency trip once when we were on Frozen, we all like pretended we were like sleeping.
Sleeping, yeah.
That was cute.
We did that.
Yeah, you can do a lot of cool things with it. I know over in Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, there's a lot of great shots you can take at night if you build a lightsaber. So that's really cool. I usually tell people, build your lightsaber a little bit later in the day, maybe right after dinner or something, and then get those great shots, with your lightsaber lit in front of the Millennium Falcon, or if you catch, Chewie walking by or Grogu or somebody. But
Grogu doesn't walk.
You know what I meant?
The Mandalorian carrying him. But you're right, because their pictures are so pretty at night, and that's one of the worst places, in my opinion, to get pictures during the day, because there's zero shade.
Hot.
And no matter which direction they turn you, the sun is in your eyes, and so they're like telling you like to reach out into the force and all that. And unless you're all wearing sunglasses or everyone's eyes are closed or squinty, but at night it's really well lit to have all even if you don't do magic pictures, just their regular pictures come out great there.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite picture of me and Travis from Disney right now, and it would probably be for all time, is in front of the Falcon. I told Bethany one night, I was like, I have to have a picture of me and Travis in front of the Falcon in honor of my dad. And it's me and him doing the Force. And Travis, I don't know if he knew what he was doing. I mean, he was like 2.5, 3, but he did it perfectly. And I'm just like, this is great. So Bethany's mom had it printed for me for Father's Day one year, and Travis painted the frame and all that. So it's sitting next to my bed.
Aww.
But if it wasn't for PhotoPass, I wouldn't have a picture as well as that one is, because they waited for a really low crowd to come by before they took that picture.
Yeah, and that's, I think,
the
most important thing you take away from a lot of vacations are your photographs, because you do take vacations for memories. And I mean, T-shirts and coffee cups and all that kind of stuff is great, but sometimes that eventually ends up in the yard sale. But I mean, like you took him and he was like, you say 2.5, 3, but he's 5 now. And you look at it and you're like, oh my God, he was so little. And then you look at it when he's 15 and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, all these memories we had when he was tiny. And I think that's the best part is like, even if you get the same picture in front of the same spot every time you go to Disney, watching your kids grow up and just little things and you do so much crap on your phone in Disney between the lightning lanes and ordering food. It's sometimes nice just to put your phone away and not worry about taking pictures.
Yeah.
Someone else can do it for you.
Yeah, I will say I have my son, I have a picture of him with Darth Vader from like every trip we go to, and here he is, this, scared little boy saying, then he's getting a little braver. Then he's, like a teenager and like, yeah, what are you going to do to me? And then all of a sudden he's towering over Darth Vader, and Darth Vader's looking up at him. But you're right. It's a great way to, capture the growth of your child as well. I'll also say I noticed, this weekend, I have 2 boys, so we don't take too many princess pictures. But I always like to remind people that at Epcot, you'll actually find more princesses there than you do at the Magic Kingdom. So, almost every country has a princess, somewhat represented. And I saw there was, I don't know if you'd call it a magic shot. I think it's more of a prop. But over in the UK, they had a Tinkerbell lantern. So like the lantern with Tinkerbell in it, which reminded me of the Rapunzel picture. But that was really pretty over by that garden, like usually where Alice in Wonderland is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pictures. They had that as a photo shot at night, which was really cool with that lantern.
Did you get it done?
No, of course not.
Oh.
I'm the person that goes around and finds where things are, but I don't actually do them. No, it was actually a pretty long line and we were headed out. So, but yeah, tons of princess pictures, all in their settings all around World Showcase. So Memory Maker is definitely one of those things you want to add to your vacation.
And you can get pictures at Disney Springs too. When I was there at Christmas, I had it with like the different Christmas trees. Like there was the PhotoPass photographers there taking those pictures too.
And the studio's there too.
Yeah, they have a studio. Yep.
And
if you do Bippity Boppity Boutique, you get all those pictures as well.
Well, and for an added cost, there's the Capture Your Moment photo sessions. I can't remember the price off my head.
$50, isn't it?
I think
It's $250.
You have to.
Wait.
The Capture Your Moment isn't $200 something. Yeah, I think it goes for $50, $80.
It's $150.
I thought it started at $50. I know it's 20 minutes.
Yeah. But you'll start at a certain place and work your way through. We have some great pictures of Travis going down Main Street in the confectionery, and then in front of the castle, and in that the little gardens right there in front of the castle. And then we did one a few years ago with her parents. Yeah, you have to pay the extra money for the Memory Maker, but you're getting a private photo session. So why not spend that little bit extra money where you have that 20 minutes to walk around and have priority of what you want, where you want.
Mm-hmm. It's also great if you want to get engaged somewhere in Walt Disney World. You can book a capture the moment session, and the person that you're with just thinks you want some pictures together, but let them know ahead of time that it's I'm going to propose to this person somewhere within our session, and then you have all those pictures captured, which is cool.
So it's $100, and it's for up to 8 people.
Yeah. So I mean, I would gladly pay for it.
Cheaper than something you'd get in a studio at home.
And see, I think that's cheaper than what I paid, because speaking of engagement, when me and Beth went down for our first trip, I proposed to her in Cinderella Castle. And then the next morning we went and had engagement pictures taken at Epcot. But we had to go through the weddings at that time, because that was the only way you could get private photo sessions. And we paid like $500 or $600 for those.
Wow.
I mean, you got the pictures themselves and a book and all that included, but it was still a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. That is a lot.
Love the pictures though. Came out great.
To build on what Christine said about having an engagement there, the photographers are really good. Like if you tell them you're about, or they kind of get the hint, they're going to bend down and get angles. It's not just like a stand up there, click, click, click. We got 3 shots. We don't care if they're good or not. Let the next person in line go. Because one of the things we know, having boys, as some of you know, they don't always like to be in photos or smile for photos, but they will do it for someone else faster, than, because they'll see us tell the kids, let's take a picture. And they're like, I don't want to take another one. The photographer's like, oh, come over, stand over here and do this. Hold your hand out. And then they'll do a magic shot and put something in their hand. And so the kids are obviously more cooperative with strangers usually than you. But we've also had them before, Matt and I, if the kids are asleep in the strollers, we'll take a picture in front of the castle, and then they'll turn around and they'll take a picture of the kids sleeping in front of the castle in the strollers. So, it just captures the moment of kids are sleeping, they're doing their thing, we're doing our thing. But I really like that they're willing to help you and work with you. And it's not just they're a job with a camera. That's all right, let's move this line along. The guy, I think in Animal Kingdom, was it? Micah Jason, where we were, that he literally he found out we were travel consultants and we were there with Allison. So he wanted to give us a mini session with the group, and then when I say 20 or more pictures per person, he was getting headshots, full body shots, do this. And we were finally and the line was going across the bridge at the
we were this is getting really long. He's like, do you want some more? And we're like, no, you have a lot of people in line.
There was one family behind us when we started, and it piled on in no time. And we were like, no, you were great. This is not a you problem. This is, we feel bad.
Because I think you did a cast compliment, right?
We did a cast compliment, because we're he was great. We didn't want him to think we were moving on because we didn't appreciate his service. But he found out what we did. And he's like, oh, well, you need these so you can advertise yourself. Like I said, you did headshots, magic shots, full body. And I think Jason was the last one. Jason was like, nah, man, I'm good. A lot of people, you don't need any pictures of me. I'm good.
I have clients that will do a capture your moment session after a marathon weekend, and they do it with all their medals.
That's a good one.
It is good to note when you're buying Memory Maker to note where the characters are. She was not a client, but she's a family friend, reached out to me this week, and she's like, hey, does Peter Pan and Captain Hook meet anywhere? And I'm like, it's in the app. Peter Pan meets next to Peter Pan's flight, and there's the map of Neverland. But Captain Hook, I think, only shows up in Character Paloozas in Epcot or at the Village.
We got him at a dessert party.
Yeah.
We got Peter Pan, Smee, and Hook at a dessert party one time.
But that, know where these characters are, because most of the time the characters do have a PhotoPass with them and they'll take your picture. It's very, very rare that you will not have a PhotoPass person with that character.
And all the characters are always so accommodating too. Like if one of your kids is super excited to meet someone and then they finally get there and they're really shy or something, like, the characters are really good about bending down or, try to warm up to the kids. So, you're not getting like the screaming Santa Claus picture. Like you get every Christmas when you sit your kid on a stranger's lap and they freak out. So I really like that too, is that, or the handler that's with them, because sometimes they're in real big costumes. So it's kind of harder for them to interact. But
Ruin the magic for them. Their costumes just ruin the magic. It's not really Mickey Mouse.
I will say,
definitely
I think my favorite picture ever taken with a PhotoPass photographer was my son was sleeping in his stroller and we were there to meet Mickey and he had like just fallen asleep. I'm like, you can't wake up a sleeping kid, at Disney World. And so the PhotoPass picture took a picture of Mickey Mouse like leaning over him going, sleeping. And I still have that picture on my phone and I love looking at it. You have to give huge compliments to the characters because they're so good too with the camera, like knowing where the camera is and take great shots and poses and stuff with the families that come by. But the whole experience of Memory Maker is just, it's a given. Every trip you have to have it.
It should note that when you're doing dining with characters, the walk around characters, those don't have PhotoPass with them. So that is going to be you taking pictures with your cameras, with your phones, whatever like that. Usually there is a picture though with one character that's included with a nice with a PhotoPass, or like at Chef Mickey's, you're taking a picture with a statue of Mickey in front of a plate. But that usually is one thing, and then all the characters walking around, that's going to be you taking pictures yourself. I don't think I cannot go without mentioning that the worst thing that they've done in recent history is put the camera boxes in.
Yeah. Which
luckily I think are only in 2 spots. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the princesses have them in Princess Fairy Tale Hall. And then Mickey and Town Square have them.
Yeah.
It just takes away so much, because the fact of having a person taking your pictures, they just take the pictures. They're not waiting for anything. They just go. They can see what's happening. The camera boxes can't. So we've missed out on some great pictures because of a camera box. And then I don't think the pictures look good in the first place now with these boxes.
Well, and also because if you have a PhotoPass photographer in there with that, like a lot of times they're capturing the kids' like first reaction to the character as they're walking in, versus those photo boxes. You have to be standing in front of it. Like it gets the back of your kid as they're walking up to it. But that PhotoPass photographer will turn and take those pictures and get those reactions.
Travis's second birthday, Travis ran to Mickey Mouse in Town Square. We do not have a picture from PhotoPass from that. We only have pictures from family because they were taking pictures of him running to Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if they had a person here, we wouldn't have missed that. We would have had a great picture of Mickey and Travis.
I think it's weird, out of all the locations, they picked Mickey Mouse to have a box rather than a photographer. Like that's like the reason why people come, to get a picture, is to get a picture of Mickey, and that's the one that has a box. That's like a weird one.
I think that's the one they've gotten so much backlash from them, because that was one of those Chapek things of let's save money, that they just stopped installing them. And I would assume that eventually, once those start needing refurbishments, they're going to pull them out and bring PhotoPass back. They just want to make sure they get their investment taken care of.
I mean, just like you said, for something that's sometimes it does feel like Disney nickels and dimes you sometimes when you're there. By the time you pay for lightning lanes and extra things for rides and all this other stuff, paying $200 for 7 days to get all the pictures you want. I mean, there's no limit. You can go circle the park 14 times and get every picture again, and get one at day, one at night. Animal Kingdom I love because they're one of the places where I love the pictures during the day and at night, because they all look different as everything's lit up. And there's no limit, and you have all that forever. And so, like you said, you can make gifts out of it. Every year we go to Disney, it's such an easy Christmas card to do that year, because our family never gets together to take professional photography at home.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually choose the funniest PhotoPass or whatever we got. It's, something, the magic ones where the kids are doing something funny. And that's the one we send out. Everyone loves it because it's not traditional. We didn't have to schedule anything with a photographer back home and put them in stuffy clothes and, where they're crying the whole time and you pretend you're the happy family for like, the one good shot you get. So it's a no-brainer. I feel like of a lot of things that people don't agree on about, where to stay, what to eat, whatever, I think Memory Maker is pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
A no-brainer.
And it's worth to note, too, that Jollywood Nights included Memory Maker with a ticket this year, and I think last year as well, or the past 2 years, let me say it like that, because we went to Jollywood and got all the pictures from that. When you buy Lightning Lane, does that still include PhotoPass for the rides?
I think it's for the ride. Yeah.
Because in Disneyland, you get PhotoPass with everything with Lightning Lane, which I wish they would bring to Disney World, but I understand, they're trying to make money off of that. But
the other thing to note too is if you have a Disney Visa, there's usually I'll call it private or a special meet and greet at one of the parks. Like usually there's one at Epcot. I know at Hollywood Studios it was Kylo Ren at one point, but we met Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto I think once in Epcot, and there was no one else there but our family, and I think we spent like 20 minutes with them.
Wow.
I mean, I have like literally 1,000 pictures of just every different angle of my kids hugging and doing high fives. And Minnie was trying to learn how to do a cartwheel from my son. Like it was like a private photo session, but just because we were Disney Visa card holders, And the one in Disneyland's pretty cool too, with Darth Vader.
They're fixing to change that one to Kylo Ren in Disneyland because they're bringing Darth Vader out to Galaxy's Edge.
Gotcha. Yeah, they do sometimes change the characters for that one, so that's cool. If you go year after year, you'll get a different experience.
I was about to say, that way you get different people. I like that.
The Memory Maker is a great thing. Our background picture is actually from Memory Maker in September. If y'all you can barely see Terry,
legs.
myself.
Those legs.
So when like Rachel had said, we got it. Allison has it on her annual pass, so we took pictures at all the parks, and besides Epcot because we made it to the front too late.
We did.
Yeah.
So,
those were made with our phone because all the PhotoPass photographers were done.
They were done.
Yep, they were gone.
We wanted
for the
a picture with the lit up spaceship Earth, and it was during the fireworks, and we couldn't find anybody. So we're just like, okay, picture time. But it's no matter what, all my backgrounds at work are pictures from all my Disney and Universal trips, when the PhotoPass ones are the ones I put in first so that I have a rotation, just seeing all of my friends and family faces in the dreaded workspace. So it's fun to look back on and just know, like, the picture I looked at before I left work, Christine, was us and Rachel and Denise and Siobhan all at the Beer Gatine.
Great.
The Beer Gatine!
Obviously, that's not PhotoPass, but that's photos are such a memory.
Yeah.
We all want to be part of it.
They bring you right back to that moment, back to that trip. You look at your life through pictures a lot. So it's a really easy way to capture it. And like you said, get everybody in the picture rather than usually mom behind the camera or something.
And you really do think that you're going to remember everything.
And
then you start looking back through the PhotoPass and you're like, I don't even remember stopping for this picture sometimes. Or like, you're like, oh yeah, we did take that one. Because like you said, as a mom, you're either behind the camera or your brain's, running 90 miles a minute, and you forget this. So it's nice to have someone else there to take pictures. And then you're surprised. You're like, oh, look, we did do that. It was fun. Look at that.
And then when you get home, you have, I think they just extended it now. Isn't it 45 days?
I think so.
Right? To download your pictures. So they'll have watermarks on them until you activate it, your My Disney Experience account. But you can do that after the first picture is taken. But then you can either download them there if you want to upload them to like Facebook or Instagram or something. Or you can wait till you get home and then, send them out to the crew that you were traveling with. But you have 45 days to get them out. And then, I've actually had a time where a picture didn't show up in my account. Yep. And they have a special like email address or phone number, and you can give them what time you were there, on a particular ride, what were you wearing, what were the people that you were with, what were they wearing? And they actually found our picture. It was Space Mountain. I mean, that was the times where the kids were dabbing, doing that thing. My son had done that in the picture and it didn't come up in my account. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to spend half my day trying to figure out how to get this picture. But it actually is very simple. And we had it in our account within like 15 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're very helpful.
We were leaving Animal Kingdom one night and the Magic Band part wouldn't work to attach our pictures to us. and he wrote down a little card. He like you said, the exact time, and he put his exact location and his name, and he was like, "Take this to so and so and tell them you want this picture uploaded to your account." And it took like 2 seconds once we got there, and they're like, "Okay," and they tapped the band, and all these pictures were on our account. Then
couldn't imagine like the millions of pictures that come through, and then
they have to go through and find it. They have to have some sort of like AI software in there where they can be like, this location, this time, this color shirt. I don't know. And then
now you're gonna worry some people now because they're like, oh my gosh, they got facial recognition. They got AI. They know everywhere you are at the park, no matter what you're doing between your magic band and your facial recognition.
So I'll allude to this, and then we'll finish it out. But with the Disney putting, I think it was like $2 billion in a Chat GPT, we talked about it on a previous episode. I really think they're going to utilize AI in some form or fashion within Memory Maker, whether it's maybe you're paying $230, $240 for this feature, but taking all of the people out of your pictures, so it's just you and your family in front of the castle or in front of one of the icons. Maybe it's the
number one thing they could do.
Yeah, easily
just remove trash.
Put Mickey with your family. Put any of the characters. You choose in the app what you want to do, and it does it. I really think that's the future of Memory Maker and how to make it a little bit better for what it. I mean, it's great for what it is in the first place, but just to add a little bit more magic to it.
I mean, the one thing I just always tell everybody is just make sure you ask your photographers, like everywhere you stop, just ask them if they have a magic shot. Do you have any other special, props or magic shots you have here? Because a lot of times the PhotoPass photographers will not voluntarily, tell you they have something, unfortunately. I mean, they're doing this, 8 hours a day, and maybe they just don't feel like saying it every single time. So I always tell my clients and my family and friends, make sure you ask every photographer you see, do you have a magic shot? 75% of them do. And the other thing that's pretty cool too is, I don't know if you ever realize that when you walk down Main Street USA in Magic Kingdom, there's like 12 of them going down the line.
Yeah.
So you just can take a picture at every single, one. You're a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer.
Tried it.
You can get it with the partner statue, and stuff like that. But, you can take endless pictures in Walt Disney World with Memory Maker.
So small hack that I do. I don't wear a magic band. We've talked about that before. So they give you a QR code too in the app. Take a screenshot of it, make it your home screen on your phone or your lock screen. That way mainly I do this in Disneyland more than anything because Disney World, you can still use your Apple Watch and it can scan and it linked to your account. But you just scan that QR code right there and it goes and it's fine. So if you don't want to use Magic Wallet, if you don't want to use a Magic Band, that QR code as your lock screen works just as great. And it's easy to get to. Just push the button. It's there. Well, Christine, thank you so much for coming on this episode. We really enjoyed this conversation with Memory Maker and the ins and outs of it. Where can people find you?
I'm primarily on Facebook. That's where most people follow me. Christine Rush. My email address is christine@magicaltravel.com. On Instagram, I am Mickey Mom 007. So that's Mickey Mom 007. And on TikTok, I'm at Christine at Magical Travel.
She does a great job as well when it comes to Instagram and Facebook, posting her pictures and everything, seeing her happy little family going everywhere.
Not so little anymore. They're 6'2" and 6'4", I think.
Wow.
But up and there goes one right there.
Yeah.
He's home for the weekend from college. So So anyway, thank you very much for having me on. I really enjoy speaking with you guys or talking with you guys.
Speaking. We're at a lecture.
Yeah. There's my podium.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, thank you for having me and always willing to come back and talk about anything you guys want from castles to cauldrons.
Well, we'll have you on in about 1.5 years again.
Yeah.
No, it cannot be that long.
No.
It won't be. We're going to try to do another live show next AEP. And if it's in Disneyland, we'll do a Disneyland. I'll carry everything out and we can record out there.
That'd be awesome.
As for the rest of us, you can find us at magicaltravel.com. If you take some time, please go like us on social media. We're Castles to Cauldrons on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And until the next time, we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.